before you begin this course, I want to introduce myself and tell you why I made this course. So I was born in sunny Perth, Western Australia in 1979, and this year, 2021, I'm about to celebrate my 42nd birthday in Los Angeles, California, which is where I've been living for the last 5 years with my sweetheart. I'm having an absolute ball here. For the last few years, I've been working as a high school teacher down in Hollywood, teaching newcomers. That means students who are new to the country, most of them from Central America. I've been teaching them English. And then in the evening, I've been teaching adults at an adult school, and I've been helping them to prepare for an exam called the GED and the HiSET exam so that they can get their high school certificate. Very rewarding work. I love my students, and I try to make my classes really entertaining and fun, as well as deep and philosophical. Another thing people don't really know about me is that when I was a boy, I had an imaginary friend who came from outer space and would land in a box in the backyard of my parents' house. And I realized that imagination, creativity, and play were really important to me. I learned that from an early age. I used to play in the sandpit a lot, used to make spaceships and entire cities with Lego. So creativity is a big part of who I am and what I need to feel happy in life. And exploration, like exploring life and making things, being creative. When I was about 9 years old, this musician came to our school with a keyboard synthesizer and gave a demonstration. It was amazing. I was absolutely blown away. So I wanted to get my own keyboard, but at 9 years old, you don't really have the money to buy one of these things. So I started to compose my own sound effects with my voice, and fast forward about a decade, I became not so bad at this skill called human beatboxing. And, my friends would say that's pretty good. That's where you can, create a hip hop beat or a drum beat with your voice. So I'll give you a quick demonstration of some hip hop and some house music and some drum or bass. So hip hop would be like, this is 90s hip hop. We'll do some house music and some drum and bass for all my D&B heads out there. So lots of sound effects like that became something that I just did. Fast forward a little bit further and take into account my love for creativity and exploring. I ended up becoming a high school teacher after I completed a degree in philosophy and English and education. I became a high school drama and English teacher, and I taught from elementary to middle school and a high school, of course, a little bit of kindergarten, some college, and now adults as well. So I've been able to teach people across the board. And what I've noticed in all the years that I've been teaching is that the one thing that gets in the way of people from success, from feeling confident in themselves, is a lack of self-worth. And that's why I built the School of SelfWorth, and that's why I built this program, How to Beat Imposter Syndrome and Be Confident, is because so many people don't believe in themselves. They don't have access to their self-worth. They don't even know how to raise it. And when I say self-worth, it's also, you could think of self-esteem or trying to be authentic or just believe in themselves. So the School of SelfWorth and this program that you are now taking is all part of my love for teaching people to explore who they are, to be creative with who they are and in their lives, to use their imagination, because I believe that imposter syndrome is kind of something that we imagine. And if we could just cultivate our imagination in another way, we could really reverse imposter syndrome and start to become our authentic, confident selves. Now, another thing is that I went through imposter syndrome. When I was a high school teacher, I'd been doing it a couple of years, and I actually got burnt out and quite depressed. And I hated teaching when my first year out because I just didn't know what I was doing. I really felt out of my depth. And so I was like, I really want to start my own business, my own small business as an entertainer. And I wanted to go into schools and I wanted to entertain young people with my unique talent of human beatboxing. And I wanted to tell them to find their unique talent and find their purpose and to improve their self-worth. and I couldn't do it. I procrastinated. I went through imposter syndrome. I doubted myself, even though people around me were saying, you're ready, you've got the skills, the talents, you've got the people skills, go out there and do it. But I still felt like a big fake on some level. I was so worried about what other people would say about me. As soon as I stepped out of my comfort zone, or outside of my my safe zone, if you like to think of it, I was too afraid to step out of that because I was too worried about what other people would say. In fact, what I realized was that I had this addiction to needing approval and validation from other people to fuel my lack of self-worth. Can you believe it? So what happened was I just decided I have to push through this. And so I started to put myself out there. I put myself in the deep end. I ignored my feelings of being an imposter. Some people say you're brave and courageous, but I still felt very nervous and afraid to do it. But I knew I had to do it. And this led to joining public speaking clubs. You'll hear me talk about and rave about joining a public speaking club. I think it's one of the most important things you can do to boost your confidence and your career or your business. And I started to really get to know what is going on in the mind. And I don't have a psychology degree, but I love learning about psychology, and I love learning about spiritual traditions of the world. I love learning about finance. I love learning about investing and business. I love learning about the human body and health. I'm a yoga practitioner. So all of the things that I do have been my own way of trying to navigate imposter syndrome, to find authentic confidence and to be myself in the world. And fortunately, I love teaching people, and this is what I've put into the course for you. So that is just a sneak preview of why I made this course, a little bit about myself, and there's so many more stories included in this course. So I look forward to hearing about your progress. Please put your progress onto the School of SelfWorth Facebook group. I will be cheering you on. You can guarantee yourself that. I promise I will be encouraging you the whole way. So let's get started. Good luck. It's time to beat imposter syndrome and be confident.